I got sick again. That's why I've been absent. I could have done this and not said anything. I could have done this, shiny hunted Giratina, and just stayed silent. And maybe I should have, because I'm kind of running out of time to get these shinies. After Giratina, I got 5 more hunts. 4 of them are luck-based, and the last one I know for a fact is more time-consuming than actual luck-based. But yeah, I got sick again, so that's why I've been away for a couple days. I even said last time I hunted for Giratina that my throat started to hurt. That was only the beginning. That night, when I went to bed, it was so incredibly painful, so difficult to sleep. That night when I went to bed, I was woken up 2 times in the night by how much pain my throat was in. Every time I swallowed, it would hurt. Okay, all jokes aside. Every time I would just naturally swallow, it would hurt so much. To the point where I lied down and tried to fall back to sleep, I had to tell myself, do not swallow anymore. Stop it. Stop swallowing. Like, all jokes aside, right? You don't realize just how many times, how often you just naturally swallow your own saliva until every single swallow is highlighted with pain. It's probably a pretty bad idea for me to be doing this right now, since I'm not fully recovered yet, and I got a dinner to go to tomorrow. So because I'm not fully recovered, I'm kind of fucking up my voice right now, instead of letting it rest for tomorrow. If I sound a little bit different right now, it's because 1, I'm still sick, and 2, I have one of these in my mouth. I have Chinese herbal candy. This helps. It helps soothe the pain. I'm definitely better now. I'm not fully recovered yet. In fact, there would probably be a handful of times today where I gotta get up and go blow my nose. That's just the changing of the seasons for you. We're no longer in summer. We're now transitioning to autumn. And you know, it's not just me. I see a lot of people sick now. So it's not just me. So I know what I'm doing right now is boring as shit. But trust me, there's new games coming up, I promise. It's just, well, I started the shiny hunting quest challenge, and damn it, I'm going to finish it. After Giratina, like I said, we got 5 more hunts, and I don't think I have enough time to finish it. Because Legend ZA comes out in, like 3 weeks? Unless I get really lucky with these hunts, I don't think I'm going to finish this in time for the release of Legend ZA. But you never know. Another Palkia could happen, and it could happen 4 times in a row. It's not impossible. Or I can get something like this Giratina again, 4 times in a row. So today, with whatever's left of my voice, I will be discussing a movie that I watched. And if I have time, I'll discuss 1 episode. Because, holy shit, it is already super stacked. If I didn't have a movie to talk today, If I didn't have a movie to talk about today, and if I was healthy, I would have so much to talk about. Coming up next time, we have Daryl Dixon, Season 3, Episode 3. Peacemaker, Season 2, Episode 1. Gen V, Season 2, Episode 1. And then, releasing just today that I'm playing this, releasing just today, Marvel Zombies. I have not seen the first episode yet. I wanted to, but the totally legal website I used to watch these shows online, well, that got taken down. Now I gotta find a replacement. So yeah, for next time, that stuff will be what we discuss. I have a couple of things I want to touch on before I talk about the movie. And if I have time, I'll go over Daryl Dixon. So maybe next time we will have Peacemaker, Gen V, and Marvel Zombies. So up first, couple of trailers we got today that I'm playing this. We got the first official trailer, finally, for Welcome to Derry. I have been waiting for the show for years. So, Welcome to Derry. I think the show is set to take place in like 1962. Hold on, let me pull up the trailer. And I gotta say, based on the trailer, the production looks fantastic. The quality looks immaculate. Obviously, since this is set in the past, don't expect any ties to our old characters. At least that's my expectation. I don't know, we may see an ancestor of one of our characters. But yeah, Welcome to Derry. I've been waiting for this show for quite a while. And you know what? Based on the quality of the trailer, it seems like it was well worth the wait. At least I hope so. And so, Welcome to Derry will add yet another show for me to watch upcoming. Because Welcome to Derry premieres October 26th. That is days right before Has Been Hotel Season 2. I already feel my throat starting to tingle up. Oh, I didn't even know this. We got an official teaser over a month ago. I didn't know that. Oops. So not only did we get the trailer for Welcome to Derry, we also got the trailer at long last for the Insomniac Wolverine game. And it is bloody lovely. It is so bloody, it is amazing. Not much else to say. We finally got a trailer for the Wolverine game, so it's not dead. That's nice. You know, that game was announced years ago, and we haven't heard anything from it. And then there was that hack, that breach with Insomniac. Yeah. And I didn't mention this when it happened. It happened a little bit ago. So I'll mention it now. So rest in peace to both Robert... Shit, why am I forgetting his name? Robert Redford. Why did I blank on his last name there? Rest in peace to Robert Redford. He passed away a little bit. Yeah, he passed away. Let me see. He passed away on the 16th, so that was literally last week, 8 days ago. So rest in peace to Robert Redford, as well as rest in peace to James Carter Cathcart, or for short, I think it's like Jimmy Zoppy. I don't know why the names are so different, but whatever. Rest in peace to both of them. They will both be missed. Jimmy Zoppy, he voiced, if I'm not mistaken, he originally voiced like Brock or James. Maybe even Meowth. No, okay, I see here. Best known for providing the voices, the English voices, for Gary Oak, James, Meowth, and Professor Oak in the Pokemon franchise. So, yeah. And I think he provided the voice for Professor Oak all these years. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then I see here he also did some voices on Sonic X, Kirby Right Back at Ya. I love both of those. Who did he voice in those characters? In those? I'm curious now. Did he voice Vector? He voiced Vector. He voiced Vector the crocodile. Pachacamic, did he even show up in Sonic X? Okay, I see here he also voiced that. I think it was Kawasaki's chef friend in Kirby Right Back at Ya. I forget his name. Little bit of Spider-Man news now. This happened like last week. Turns out Tom Holland got injured on the set of Spider-Man Brand New Day. He got a concussion while doing some dangerous stunt. I think him and his stunt double. So, hope they have a speedy recovery. And, speaking of Spider-Man Brand New Day, we actually got the casting for Tombstone in the movie. Marvin Jones III has been cast as Tombstone in Spider-Man Brand New Day. In my opinion, that's a huge W. Because not only did he voice Tombstone in the Into the Spider-Verse movie, I also know this guy from the Black Lightning show, where he played Tobias Whale. So that is a huge W casting in my eyes. Now, the implications of this guy playing Tombstone are pretty hilarious. Because that means that Lonnie Lincoln's variant, this Lonnie Lincoln is drastically different from his variant in Spider-Man, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. One, he's not starting off in high school with Peter. And two, and most obviously, the character doesn't start off black. Unless you're really trying to tell me that in the live-action MCU, this character started off black and then now he looks like this. I don't know if... Because technically, by MCU logic, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is a branch reality with several branches, actually, several differences. So if in that universe, Lonnie Lincoln was born black, and then he was born white in our main universe, maybe Norman Osborn could have been born white in our universe as well. So let's see. I also do have a pretty big water bottle here next to me. More water, more water, more water. Alright, a little bit of Pokemon Go news. So we have updates for what's coming up in October of this year. October is usually a pretty exciting month for Pokemon Go. And I gotta say that a lot of people aren't that excited for this month, but I am. So, this month in October, we are going to be getting in raids the return of Deoxys. And then after Deoxys, Genesect. Now, a lot of people aren't too excited for these two, but I am. I was building my Pokecoins for Shadow Darkrai, but I need these shinies too. I need these shinies. Currently in Pokemon Go, I am missing shiny Speed form Deoxys. I have shiny normal attack and defense Deoxys, but I'm missing Speed. In fact, I don't have a single Speed form, period, in my Pokemon Go. I don't even have a regular Speed form. The last time Speed form Deoxys was in raids was, I think, in like 2021, if I'm not mistaken, so 4 years ago. I don't know why I didn't do it back then. But yeah, not only do I not have a single Speed form Deoxys, period, I also don't have the shiny. And that's the fourth and final Deoxys form. I'm missing the shiny, so I need that. And also, I am missing the normal form shiny Genesect. I have all the other Genesects. I have Burn, Douse, Shock, the last one. But yeah, I'm missing the normal Genesect with no drives shiny. So, I'm gonna try my best to get those with this opportunity. I don't care about the Mega Raids. I don't care that Origin Giratina's back. Yeah, I don't really care. I care about Deoxys. So sweet! There's also a lot of hype around Mario... Wait, not Mario. Excuse me. Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. Just because, well, it kind of seems like, from what I gather online, that Mario Kart World is a bit of a letdown. I don't know, I don't have a Switch 2 yet, I don't have the game yet. So I don't know if it's a letdown or not, but from what I see online, I'm not gonna lie, my interest is dwindling. I'll still buy the game, eventually, but once I get my hands on the Switch 2, I tell you, getting Mario Kart World is not the first game on my mind. Oh yeah, speaking of Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, there was also an official teaser promotion where Sonic is in the paddy wagon with SpongeBob. I'm not kidding. You know what I actually see here? Is this official? Oh, it is official. I should have known. Because of that promotional picture. Yeah, SpongeBob's gonna be in Sonic Racing. That's pretty dope. That's a pretty out there crossover. Sonic the Hedgehog and SpongeBob SquarePants. That's a crossover, you know, that only dreams were made of. But never really, never really reality. So, you know, we're getting a game where characters like Sonic, SpongeBob, Pac-Man, Persona 5 Joker, they're all in the same game. It's pretty awesome if you ask me. I'm curious, how many other characters have been announced that I don't know yet? Okay, I guess I missed the announcement for Minecraft Steve. Not only Minecraft Steve, there's also Alex, Creeper. So yeah, SpongeBob, Patrick, Pac-Man, and the Ghosts. There's also Hatsune Miku, Joker, Ichiban, Kasuga from previously. Okay, let's see here. We got our basic characters: Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Cream and Cheese, Big, Silver, Blaze, Shadow, Rouge, Omega, Vector, Espio, Charmy, Zavok, Zaz, Dr. Eggman, Metal Sonic, Egg Pawn, Sage, Jet, Wave, and Storm. I actually have no idea who Wave and Storm are. I only know Jet the Hawk. And then there are these characters. I've never heard of them before. You got Nine, which is some sort of Tails copy. You got Dread, some sort of pirate version of Knuckles. And you have Rusty Rose, who just looks like, instead of, you know, Metal Sonic, it's Rusty Rose. And then bonus, you got Werehog. It says here, Werehog is included as a pre-order bonus for the digital version and an early purchase bonus for physical version. This is a lot of racers so far. I can't believe they actually put SpongeBob in this goddamn game. Ugh. I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I missed out on? Or should we just get into the film? Oh yeah, there was also a new Nicktoons game. Nickelodeon game. Nicktoons and the Dice of Destiny, where SpongeBob, Timmy Turner, Jimmy Neutron and Danny Phantom, they all show up in a game together for the first time in nearly, 20 years? If I'm not mistaken? They were in a game together way back in the early 2000s, I think. And, well, the four goats of Nickelodeon are back in a game together. What else has I missed? What? What else have I missed? Let's see. I don't see a whole lot. Oh, you know what I didn't even think about when the Mario Galaxy movie was announced? We're probably going to get some sort of toy collaboration, like McDonald's, possibly Burger King. And I tell you, I'll go get them. I don't think I got them for the first Mario movie, but this one's gonna have Rosalina in it, so I'm gonna go get my hands on that. Yeah, just a quick look online. The Mario movie did have these shitty quality McDonald's toys. And McDonald's toys quality has drastically gone down. Like, the quality is horrible now. Yeah, I didn't bother getting any of these. But for the Mario Galaxy movie, I like me some Mario Galaxy. Alright, let me pop another one of my herbal candies, and then I will start talking about the movie. Oh yeah, also, last time I hunted for Giratina, the following night, my friends came over, and instead of watching a movie, I kid you not, what we did instead was we played Beyblade. I kid you not. My friends, they came over, and we were playing Beyblade. Ah yes, a men's activity. Boys have their games. Men have their activities. You know, Beyblades were just one of the handful of toys my generation grew up with. My generation, obviously, we grew up with... Oh, wait, there was a trailer 4 hours ago for Sonic Cross Worlds. I see Mega Man, and I think that one's Proto Man. Excuse me on my Mega Man knowledge. Yeah, that's pretty dope, though. Mega Man's in Sonic Racing. Yeah, it is Proto Man. Just wanted to be sure. We also get this Dr. Wily stage. That's awesome. We also see Yellow Devil in the stage, too. This game is looking dope as hell. What was I talking about? Wait a second. I didn't know this. Season Pass. Okay, so we already got revealed Minecraft, SpongeBob, Pac-Man, and now Mega Man. The rest of the Season Pass is gonna be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Avatar. I didn't know that. No offense, everyone out there. I'm not the biggest fan of either franchise. But I know they have their own fan base. Okay, what was I talking about? Yeah, when my generation was growing up, we played things like, obviously, Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Beyblades, Bakugan, and then we had other crap growing up as well, like Silly Bands, remember that? Me personally, out of everything my generation grew up with, I got into Pokemon, Bakugan, Beyblades, and only Pokemon stuck. To this day, obviously, I still play Pokemon. Bakugan, I stopped caring after like the first or second season of the show, and then the toys. Well, that kind of fell off as well. Not because I wanted it to fall off the toys, but the toys themselves just kind of took a nosedive. When my friends and I, we were playing Beyblade, they actually knew the names, the terminology. They knew what category each of the Beyblades were. Me personally, I never watched the Beyblade anime. I don't know shit about Beyblades besides, you let it rip, the tops spin, and then you see which one stops spinning first. That's really all I know about Beyblades. I don't know shit about Beyblades. I never watched the anime. And it's kind of crazy to think they made an entire anime on spinning tops. We got so intense playing Beyblades that one of my friend's Beyblades broke. And I mean literally broke. Not the plastic parts, the literal metal part of the Beyblade that clashes with other Beyblades when it spins. That part literally snapped in half. I guess these were old Beyblades too. I see here that the 3 characters are Sonic Prime characters, so that's where, like, Rusty Rose came from. I never watched Sonic Prime. That's another show on my enormous list. Though, granted, it's not the top. I'll say that. It's not priority. But yeah, I kid you not, my friends came over, at this point, last week. And we actually played Beyblades. I'm actually surprised to see Beyblades kind of returning to store shelves. Past little while, me walking into Walmart or Toys R Us, I would see Beyblades on the shelves. Pretty cool. I should also mention that my hearing is pretty muffled too. Okay. Let's finally talk about this movie that I've watched. Superman. Remember when this was Superman Legacy? I guess James Gunn decided to drop the legacy in the title. So, Superman by James Gunn stars David Corenswet as Clark Kent's Superman. Did I like this movie? Yeah, it was pretty good. I do have my issues with it. And one issue that I didn't really see when I first watched the trailer was just how vibrant the film looked. When the trailer first came out, I saw it and I'm just like, it's really vibrant. It is almost too vibrant. It's too colorful. But I didn't have that issue at all watching the film. I didn't even think about it. And I gotta say, visually, the film looks great. Majority of the CGI looked fantastic, looked super realistic. Of course, there are moments where it looked a little wonky, but that's very small, very minor. Now, the way the film opened up, I kinda don't know if that was the best choice, but hey, I didn't see anyone complaining online. Then again, this movie came out months ago and I didn't really see anything yet. I didn't go back and look at it yet. So the movie opened up with a lot of text to read to catch you up with this universe. It's like 3 centuries ago, metahumans started arriving. 3 decades ago, a baby from the planet Krypton arrived on Earth. 3 weeks ago, wait, no. 3 decades ago, and then 3 years ago, that baby grew up to become Superman. 3 weeks ago, something, and then it's like 3 minutes ago, he lost his first ever battle. And then we see Clark fall into the snow. Like, it's that scene that was released. He's injured, he's fallen into the snow, and then Crypto comes and drags him back to the fortress, where he is then assisted by the bots in the fortress, where they give him a super dose of sunlight to heal him. Now, at first, to start off, I kind of questioned the choice to start the movie this way. Mostly because this is Superman we're talking about. This is the most powerful being on Earth. The most powerful member of the Justice League. Now, the Justice League hasn't formed yet as of this movie. But still, this is Superman's very first appearance in the universe. This iterations of Superman, I should say. And the very first thing you see, the very first thing you learn about this character is that he lost a battle. The first thing you see with this Superman is he lost. I don't know, it kind of felt like how Kang lost to ants in Ant-Man Quantumania. Like, this is supposed to be the big bad. Or in this case, this is Superman. He's supposed to be the ultimate being on Earth. And then you just start off with, he lost. And also another thing, I know we're all sick of the origin story. Me personally, I don't really get it, you know? I'm probably in the minority with that. I don't have an issue with brand new iterations of characters telling their origin story. Like, this movie, we're already 3 years into Superman being established in this world. A part of me would have liked to see how his origin came about, you know? How he got inspired to work at the Daily Planet, how he met Lois Lane, how Lois Lane ended up... Wait, what? How he and Lois Lane ended up together in the first place. So I would have liked to see all that, but nope, we just skipped over all of it. I'm trying to find the name of the big place in this movie, because I clearly can't remember it. Boravia, there it is. So, there's this big plot with this country of, or this nation of Boravia, and they want to invade the neighboring country of Jarhanpur. Yeah. And let me just confirm, because this actor, if I'm not mistaken, yep. So the actor who plays the president of Boravia, I'm gonna butcher this guy's name, Zlatko Burek, if I'm not mistaken. The moment I saw him on screen, I instantly recognized him from one movie, and that is 2012. Yeah, I recognize this guy from one movie from 15 years ago. Sweet. So yeah. Superman in Metropolis is defeated by a metahuman called Hammer of Boravia, which you know leads into the beginning where Superman lost and he gets healed at the fortress. But after Superman gets healed and leaves, it turns out someone followed him. Quote unquote, the engineer is this person who had tons of nanites injected into her body and they can form into anything in her body. And she works for Lex Luthor, played by Nicholas Hoult. You know, young Hank McCoy himself. So, it turns out during the fight with Hammer of Boravia, or Ultraman, Lex Luthor is able to predict all of Superman's fighting moves, like before he even makes them, and he's able to call out like gaming inputs in order to counter Superman. He keeps yelling like A4 and H2 and T7. Like he names out codes for fighting moves for Ultraman to use to fight Superman. And that's because, well, this is 3 years in. Lex has been studying Superman's movements to where he can use like an algorithm to predict what Superman's gonna do before he does. So then we see Clark work at the Daily Planet where, you know, the newspaper is writing about him. Now, I am so glad that we're going back to newspapers. I hate the idea that moving forward, because we keep moving forward in time, we're not moving back. Nobody reads newspapers anymore. Nobody reads newspapers anymore. So, newspapers out, podcasts and all that. I hate that idea. These are meant to be fiction. So, even if it is modern day, let these characters work at a newspaper. Let Clark Kent and Lois Lane work for a company that prints newspapers. Look at what they did to the Daily Bugle. They turned it into the dailybugle.net. I hate that. I don't care if it's outdated, just have them print newspapers. Anyways, so Lois Lane goes home, and then she starts sucking face with Clark. So they're already established to be a couple, and Lois already knows that Clark is Superman. So Clark agrees to let Lois interview him, because only Clark has ever interviewed himself, so Superman. And Lois warns that sooner or later someone's going to pick up the dots and find out. Someone's going to piece it together. So the interview goes pretty bad because Lois, she covers everything, you know? She covers the fact that Clark going into foreign soil to stop an invasion of one nation into another. You know, that could be considered treason, blah, 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 an act of war if he was fighting on behalf of the US. But Clark, you know, he doesn't fight on behalf of anything or anyone. He just wants to do what's right. People were going to die, so he stepped in to stop it. Oh yeah, we also see that while Lex is doing his evil deeds, there's this chick taking selfies in the background, and that is none other than Tess or Eve. Wait, what? That is my god. That is none other than Eve, aka Eve Tessmacher. I wish we got a scene in this movie where Lex just yells Miss Tessmacher, but no, he didn't. He never did. We also see working at the Daily Planet couple of Superman characters like Steve Lombard, Cat Grant. And I tell you, that Cat Grant, she's a cat, all right. So, turns out Lex has these portals into a pocket dimension of his. At first, I was kind of wondering, are these portals boom tubes? No, it's too early for that. We get an explanation later in the film that Lex literally created a pocket dimension of his own when he replicated the Big Bang inside of his own labs, and then that created a rift, a tear, a pocket universe, where he has many portals throughout the planet. So Lex sends the engineer, well, actually Lex himself, the engineer, and even not Cat Grant, and Eve Tessmacher go to the Fortress of Solitude, as well as Ultraman. Because the engineer, she reported back that the fortress disappears when Clark's not there. So they bring Ultraman with them to enter the fortress. Why? We'll learn later. Oh yeah, while Clark was being healed at the fortress, the bots played his parents' message from Krypton, so Jor-El and Lara Lorvan. It played their message, their final message to their son, which half of it was corrupted during travel. So Clark only ever heard the first half, which was, you know, protect the planet, serve the people of Earth. So when Lex attacks the fortress, he destroys all the bots, he takes Crypto, and then he jacks into the computer, where Engineer is also able to save the corrupted portion of Clark's parents' video. And, well, to make sure Superman doesn't show up while they're there, they need a distraction for Superman, and so they Lex's goons release a kaiju on the city of Metropolis. It starts out small at first, but then it grows big in size. What is the shadow that's been there? That's my tin of herbal candy. So, while Clark is fighting the big-ass kaiju, he kind of does this, like, Bugs Bunny thing, where he gets stomped underground, and then he digs his way underground and leaves a trail. I couldn't help but notice that was some Bugs Bunny-ass behavior. Well, Clark gets some assistance from the Justice Gang. Not the Justice League, that's not a thing just yet. Not the Justice Society either. I thought they were gonna go by Justice Society, but no, it's the Justice Gang. The Justice Gang at the moment consists of none other than Guy Gardner's Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, and Hawk Girl. I also paid attention throughout the movie. Mr. Terrific didn't smile once in the entire movie. So they all team up to fight the kaiju, which, I gotta say, finally, a live-action Green Lantern where they don't skimp out on the special effects. They actually use Guy Gardner's Green Lantern ring sparingly. Or not sparingly, but generously. But yeah, they take down the kaiju. Clark actually wanted to bring the kaiju in alive so that they can, I don't know, send it off somewhere, maybe some sort of cosmic zoo, or just leave it unharmed. Leave the creature unharmed. While they're fighting, Clark saves people, he fights kids, he saves a squirrel. That's some Superman energy right there. Finally, we see a Superman just doing good and saving the day. But Mr. Terrific's T-spheres go into the kaiju's mouth and then explode his stomach, thus killing the kaiju. And, you know, Clark is a little upset. Oh yeah, we also got a scene earlier in the film where Lex is meeting with world officials, and in those world officials is none other than Frank Grillo's Rick Flag Sr. And this should be after all the shenanigans he dealt with the Creature Commandos. So after they take down the kaiju, everyone is cheering for them, but then news breaks out. Everyone on their phone plays a video where Lex is revealing Superman's true purpose here, and that he shows the world his parents' video in completion, where it's like, our son, rule over the earth, have a harem of women. One day, we can repopulate Earth with Kryptonians. And so everyone turns on Superman, because they're now thinking, was all your kind acts a lie? Are you just sizing us up? Where's your harem of women? Now, I kind of was shocked by how quickly everyone believed it. You know? No one defended Clark. Everyone immediately turned on him. No one thought, where's the proof, Lex? Anyone could have just easily dubbed over the Kryptonian language. Lex claims that he has the world's finest and best translators, and it's been fact-checked multiple times. It is true, this is what they say, but how? How do you know that? Do you have a Johnny Storm on your world? So, like, Lex just says he has the best translators on it, but he never actually in the movie shows proof. We never see in the movie any of those supposed translators come out and say, yeah, it's legit. So, nobody thought that this alien language, he could have just dubbed over anything over it. Nobody thought that. They immediately turned on Superman. So Superman realizes that, hey, something's wrong. How did they get their hands on that footage? He flies back to the fortress, sees it trashed, realizes Krypto's gone, and then we get the meme-tastic moment where Superman confronts Lex, where's the dog? Oh right, beginning of the movie, they also tracked down this guy that interacted with Superman one time. This guy offered Superman food. At first I thought, what was that relevant in the film? But it does come relevant later on. So, Superman is now wanted. He lays low. There's this big space fight happening outside. We see the Justice Gang fight this almost Starro-looking being outside, but Superman decides not to join in. He assures Lois that, "I'm not here to rule anyone. Half of the footage was corrupted. I never saw the second half." Superman decides to turn himself in, because if he does so, it could lead to where Krypto is. So he turns himself in. Rick Flag Sr. arrests him. Oh yeah, also, while that was happening, we also get a cameo. Peacemaker shows up on the news discussing Superman. So we got a John Cena Peacemaker cameo in this film. Pretty awesome. So, Superman turns himself in, and then he gets thrown into one of Lex's portals. And in that portal, we see Lex has a giant collection of prisoners, of alien prisoners. Maybe not just aliens, probably metahumans as well as one of his ex-girlfriends. Sharing the cell with Superman is Metamorpho. And he makes Metamorpho turn his hand into kryptonite to weaken Superman. Because Lex has Metamorpho's son. I forget what this son's name was. Lois realizes that Superman's missing, so she goes to the Hall of Justice to talk to the Justice Gang to get them to help find Superman. All of them refuse to help. However, Mr. Terrific actually wants to help because... Wait, no, something else happened before all this. Jimmy Olsen helps out by telling Lois that Superman is in a pocket dimension. How does he know this? Because he has a source. His source is Eve Tessmacher. So Tessmacher has the hots for Jimmy Olsen, but he doesn't feel the same way. So Jimmy just uses Eve to get information. So Jimmy tells Lois that Superman is in a pocket dimension. So she goes to the Justice Gang and get their help. Well, the two of them, Hawkgirl and Green Lantern, they refuse to help. But Mr. Terrific wants to go and see for himself because he's intrigued by this pocket dimension. And also he just happens to know where Superman was because he put microscopic trackers in his bloodstream like he does to all his friends. Alright. So he goes to the base where Superman was taken in. And then we get this typical James Gunn sequence. Music, fighting, crazy camera works. It's got James Gunn written all over it. So, once I get into the portal, Mr. Terrific is like, if he wasn't careful with this pocket dimension transporter, it could tear a literal rift in space and destroy the planet. Gee, that's not foreshadowing for later on. So Lex is like, before I kill you, Superman, I want answers from you. So he pulls out the guy who once offered Superman food, puts a gun to his head, Russian roulette style, asks Superman questions that he cannot answer, like, where did you grow up? Who raised you? Superman can't answer, but he also pleads for the guy's life. Well, the Russian roulette actually ends really quickly, so he just blows the guy's head off. Metamorpho, he actually is horrified by this and decides to help Superman instead. But Superman, now he's weakened, he also needs to heal before he can do anything. So Metamorpho, instead of making a sun, he makes something similar to a sun, which powers up Superman. Superman gets Metamorpho's sun, he gets Crypto, they start breaking out. But they don't really know where they're going. Their fight eventually leads them to almost be sucked up by a black hole. And then we get this like pixelated flood that they're in. Oh yeah, speaking of flood, have you guys seen the typhoon that's hitting Hong Kong? Well, prayers to everyone there and my family. My family lives there. We're staying in touch. They all seem to be fine, which is good. So, Lois and Mr. Terrific have already crossed to the pocket dimension. Terrific uses his T-spheres to investigate, which I gotta say also, it's great to finally see Mr. Terrific and his T-spheres be utilized properly. Because of how expensive the CGI is for the T-spheres, the CW, Mr. Terrific used them sparingly. So it's great to finally see them used properly. So yeah, Terrific uses his T-spheres to investigate the area. And Crypto mistakes them for balls, like tennis balls, playing balls. Oh yeah, there was also this funny gag where once Terrific and Lois leave the Hall of Justice to go find Clark, they open this garage hilariously slow that holds Terrific's spaceship. So yeah, Superman, Metamorpho, and Crypto, as well as Metamorpho's baby, they all leave the portal. Terrific opts to stay back to make sure the portal closes properly. Superman's weak, so Lois take him somewhere where he can heal and recover, and Metamorpho just runs off. Give me a second, I need to go blow my nose as well as pee. Alright, I'm back. My throat hurts so much, y'all. But I'm halfway into this discussion. I'm gonna finish it. Stupid freaking ads. So Lois takes Clark and flies him back to the Kent farm. Earlier in the film, Clark told Lois he loves her, but Lois didn't say it back. In fact, she revealed she was about to break up with Clark. And then hearing this stuff come out about Superman, how he has a harem of women, just makes Lois reconsider everything, you know? But then, her going home with Clark, seeing how normal his life has been. Loving parents, a room filled with knickknacks and trophies. Just shows that Clark is just a good guy, a regular guy. It was also pretty adorable when Clark woke up. Krypto was just lying on him. That was pretty adorable. We also get one of these talks between Clark and Jonathan Kent. That's nice, you know? At least in this iteration, Jonathan Kent's not dead yet. So we still get some Superman and father moment. That's good. Nice, we like those. So, Superman's still not fully healed up yet. However, on the news, the neighboring nation, what the hell was the name again? Crap. The neighboring nation, Jarhanpur, is about to be invaded by Boravia. And then the kids, they pull out this flag with the Superman crest on it and cries for Superman. However, elsewhere, Lex Luthor already has started a literal rift. Lex is pissed that Superman somehow managed to escape his pocket dimension. So he enacts a plan to draw Superman out by literally doing what Mr. Terrific was terrified about. Purposely causing a dimensional rift which tears Metropolis apart. Literally tears Metropolis in half. So Superman now needs to choose. Does he go save the people in Metropolis? Or does he go to Jarhanpur and save the people there from being invaded? Well, Superman goes to Metropolis and the Justice Gang takes care of Jarhanpur. Well, not only do the Justice Gang take care of the invasion, Hawkgirl also takes care of the president of Boravia. Also, Eve completely bails on Lex and gives everything she knows to Jimmy Olsen. So Jimmy and Lois investigate over everything she sent over. The selfies that she took has all of Lex's plans in the background. So they tell Perry White. And then all this crap happens, all this horrible stuff happens where the city literally gets torn apart. So, Lois still has her ship on the roof that belongs to Mr. Terrific. So Lois, Jimmy, Perry White, Cat Grant, and Steve Lombard, they go and they report. So while in the city, Superman and Mr. Terrific fight both the Engineer and Ultraman. Well, throughout the fight, it's revealed that, oh my god, Ultraman is a clone of Superman created by Lex. Wow, what a shock. Totally didn't see that coming. Lex says that he combed through all of Superman's previous battles and found a hair sample. Now, here I want to mention, is this Ultraman character feels like a rip or an iteration of so many characters. The name itself might come from Ultraman of the Crime Syndicate. And it seems like Ultraman in this iteration is not Connor Kent. It's not a clone of Superman and Lex Luthor. However, I can see this paving the road to that in the future. So maybe in the future we'll see Connor Kent. So it's also revealed why Ultraman obeys Lex Luthor despite being a copy of Clark Kent. Lex intentionally made this clone less intelligent and obedient. So Superman and Krypto team up to take down Ultraman. While they fight, the city is getting torn apart and there is a black hole beneath the rift. So with some strategic strategizing, Superman is able to defeat Ultraman and send him into the black hole. Damn, I kind of feel bad for Ultraman. So with this, they go after Lex Luthor. He's trying to escape. Lex opens his portal for his entire team to go in. One of Lex's workers actually wants to close the portal, but then Lex is like, no, they chose him, let them die. We'll close it once it gets to a city I actually care about. Ooh, Lex is heartless in this film, in this iteration. So, Clark flies in, body slams Lex to the side. They have an argument, and then Krypto just mauls him. Well deserved, if I may add. Mr. Terrific also walks up like a boss and just shuts down the rift himself. The dude is like, I can help you. This was pretty funny. Terrific literally just pushes him aside. It's like, I don't need your help. I am the goddamn Mr. Terrific. I also find it kind of strange. This is a freaking dimensional rift tearing not just the city, but the planet apart. And they can just stop it at the computer? Alright. I found that so bizarre. They can stop a dimensional rift by pushing keyboards. Buttons on a keyboard. Alrighty. Well, Lois does her reporting and announces to the world that Lex was working with the president of Baravia the whole time blah blah blah, putting him in power, yada yada yada. And maybe coming out that the Superman message was doctored, or at least totally not what was translated. So Lex loses, he gets arrested. Superman publicly goes in front of Lois Lane and asks for an interview. So they go into this pretty unscathed, pretty clean looking, I guess, shopping mall, where they kiss, they fly. Lois finally says, "I love you" back. Even all the people at the Daily Planet were like, or Perry White was like, how long have those two been hooking up? Jimmy is just like, about 3 months. That kind of makes me question, don't they know Lois is with Clark Kent? If they do, then wouldn't they question like, hey Lois, you're with Clark Kent, aren't you? You're with him, Clark. So why are you hooking up with Superman behind Clark's back? Because let's face it, these guys do not know that Clark is Superman. We also get a teensy tiny cameo where Sean Gunn is playing this universe's Maxwell Lord. Oh, don't worry, we'll see him again very, very soon. So the movie ends, but we do get an ending scene. Clark is now at the rebuilt fortress, all cleaned up. And in comes Supergirl. Kara Danvers, or Kara Zor-El, is already established in this world. She's been off planet this entire movie because she has been partying on other planets. And Crypto is her dog. And I gotta say, the attitude of this iteration of Supergirl is brand new to me. Because, you know, it's a little bizarre to me. She's just like, thanks for watching my dog, bitch. It's like, damn, I've never seen an iteration of Kara like this before. And remember when James Gunn announced Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow? She wasn't going to be this, at least according to James Gunn, she wasn't going to be this, like, you know, positive, shining beacon. She was going to be more, you know, depressed and lost. Considering she lost her entire planet, civilization, and history. So that would kind of screw with your mind. Yeah, that's not at all what I get from this character. At least from the 30 seconds that we got of her. We do also get this post-credit scene, which doesn't really serve anything, it's just something funny. Clark, or Superman, and Mr. Terrific are looking at this building that was put back together after the rift was sealed. And Superman is just like, it's kind of off. It's kind of misaligned. Good luck on the shiny hunt, thank you. So Terrific's just like, what do you want me to do? Pull it apart and put it back together? Did I miss anything about this film? Let me see, are there any plot details I missed? It could have been better? I assume you mean the realignment. Now, it's gonna take a whole lot to rebuild Metropolis. It was literally split in half. I don't know, it was a pretty good start to the DCU. Live action, movie-wise. The DCU technically started with Creature Commandos. And by all technicality, it kind of started with the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker. Although those... what a mess this is. Although those are not canon, the events that took place are canon. Does that make sense? Like, say for example, in the Suicide Squad, Sean Gunn played Calendar Man. And now, Sean Gunn plays Maxwell Lord. So, the castings are not canon, but the events are. In the DCU, the Suicide Squad did indeed fight Starro. And that team did consist of Peacemaker, Harley Quinn, probably, Bloodsport, and Peacemaker did kill Rick Flag Jr. during those events, so those events are canon, but the actual film itself is not. So it was a pretty good start for Superman. The suit. The Superman suit. You know, at first I was a little iffy on it. Me personally, I prefer the more classic Superman emblem compared to the Kingdom Come one, which is, you know, the inspiration for the Superman logo we have now. I don't know, I prefer the more pronounced S over the Kingdom Come design. Unless we're actually doing Kingdom Come Superman, right? Did the suit look baggy in the movie itself? Not really. Did the over design in the suit with all the lines kinda take me out? No. Did the trunks being on the outside of the suit look goofy in the movie? No, it did not. So, on film, the suit works quite nicely. However, in still images, it's okay. Oh, you want to know something that I never even noticed until it was pointed out to me recently? On Henry Cavill's Superman suit, the Superman S emblem is not centered. If you look at it, it's not centered. It's misaligned with his abs. I never noticed that. I'm trying to find the picture. Which one was it? Now, here's the big question. Which iteration of Superman do I prefer? Do I prefer Henry Cavill or do I prefer David Cornsweet? I wish I could say it's not a fair ranking, but it kind of is. Both at this moment only have one solo movie. One solo movie. Which, can you believe that? We haven't gotten a solo Superman movie since Man of Steel? What kind of atrocious timeline do we live in? I gotta say, both Supermen serve their purpose well. Henry Cavill definitely does work for the more dark, gritty Snyderverse version. And David Cornsweet definitely does work with the more upbeat, positive Boy Scout version of Superman that we see now. Do I wish we still had Henry Cavill? Yes, that man is a gem to humanity, and he was done so dirty. And he keeps being done dirty. Not only by DC, but also by The Witcher. Well, I just hope Marvel Studios treats him better. Give me that Henry Cavill solo Wolverine movie as just a one-off. Literally, give me an entire one-off movie that is Henry Cavill as Wolverine. You don't need the sequel, you don't need him to cross over into Secret Wars. Just literally give me one single movie with Henry Cavill as Wolverine, and I'll be satisfied. I'll be happy. Can you believe Henry Cavill is the only other actor to play a live-action Wolverine besides Hugh Jackman, and the guy who played young James Howlett in the flashback? But, you know, genuine Wolverine, it is Hugh Jackman and Henry Cavill. It's just those two. Can you believe that? So there you go, Superman. Now, I wanted to discuss this first because next up we have Peacemaker Season 2. And yes, there are references. I like that. Not only are there references, there are crossovers too. We literally saw Peacemaker cameo in this film. And also, we saw Rick Flag Sr. in this film. We already know well in advance Rick Flag Sr. was going to be a part of Peacemaker. We already knew that well in advance. What do you think? Should I discuss Daryl Dixon, or should I rest my voice now? You know, I've been taking Tylenol. Now, Tylenol has been on the news lately because Trump has issued a warning to pregnant women out there not to take Tylenol during the pregnancy because it has a very, very slim chance to cause autism in the babies. And then a bunch of dumbass libtards are doing exactly that. They're downing Tylenols in what's called the Tylenol Challenge on TikTok just to spite Trump. Saying, like, I'm going to trust science instead of someone who doesn't have any, like, medical background. So, in my pregnancy, down goes the Tylenol. Despite the fact that you look perfectly healthy. And where do you think Trump got that information? From the scientist who told him. So if I save Daryl Dixon to discuss for next time, we will have 4 things to discuss next time. We'll have Daryl Dixon, Peacemaker, Gen V, and Marvel Zombies. Next time it's going to be packed. Next time there's no dilly-dallying. Next time when I start, I just got to jump right in and start the discussions. Oh yeah, one more thing in this movie. Lex, after he killed that guy to, hurt Superman, he's just like, I will kill everyone and anyone who you have ever talked to. Maybe I'll kill that reporter you interview all the time next. Maybe I'll kill Clark Kent. So, at least they've established in this continuity, at least for now, Lex Luthor does not know that Clark Kent is Superman. I kind of prefer the storytelling when they do not know. Because in universe, it's kind of stupid whenever the main villain does not out the hero's identity. Because they quote-unquote want to save killing them for themselves. If Lex Luthor outed Superman's identity as Clark Kent to the world, then that would put a target on not only Clark, but his family. And Lex is like, no, only I get to kill him. No one else gets to kill him, so I keep his secret. I don't know. In that logic, I kind of prefer them to not know. But there's also the issue of, if they not know, how can they be so stupid? Lex Luthor is supposed to be a genius, and even he can't tell Clark Kent is Superman? Now, I will give this movie credit, This movie, actually, you cannot really tell Clark Kent is Superman. Because, hey, this time, they do more than just making him wear a pair of glasses. Clark's hair is also drastically different from his Superman hair. So, yeah, they do look pretty different. So yeah, I'll give him that. Clark does look different enough from Superman where you can't really tell. My complaint, though, is that we didn't get enough Clark Kent. We still mostly got Superman. Now, yes, I know the movie is called Superman, but still. That was an issue with Henry Cavill's version of Superman, where he played more Superman and not really Clark. We never really got to see Clark. Now, granted, we do see more Clark this time than Henry Cavill's Superman, but still, we don't really see a lot of Clark. We briefly saw him at the Daily Planet, and then not really again. We did see Clark... We did see Clark at the farm with his parents. That was nice. But, how long has it been? Jesus. I am still missing that Clark Kent core. You know what I'm saying? We're still missing Clark Kent being a reporter, working at the Daily Planet, balancing his life with Superman. We're still missing that. I wish we could say we got that in Superman and Lois, but we didn't. Superman and Lois, Clark was actually laid off of the Daily Planet. Clark wasn't working at the Daily Planet anymore. Yes, we saw Clark during Superman and Lois, but we haven't seen a lot of his reporting. And that's what I'm missing. We haven't seen Superman or Clark do reporting in a very long time. We briefly got it here, but not enough. We got almost none with Tyler Hoechlin's version of Superman. Henry Cavill's Superman, same thing, we also got almost none. In fact, we only briefly got snippets of it during Batman v Superman, and that's it. I think the last time we may have gotten genuinely Clark Kent doing reporting was in Superman Returns. All the way back in, 2006? That was nearly 20 years ago. It was 2006, wasn't it? And if I remember correctly, it was still very minimal reporting in that film too. Yeah, 2006. I am missing one core element to Superman, and that is Clark doing reporting. Now, I wish I could say the sequel might do more of this. We already got the announcement of the sequel, Superman Man of Tomorrow. That's coming out in like 2027? So 2 years from now. And I think it's also been announced by James Gunn. In the Superman sequel, we'll see Lex in his war suit. Yes. Yes. I want that. I'm trying to think. When was the last time we ever got to see Lex Luthor in his war suit? Surprisingly enough, we got it on TV. Supergirl. We got Lex Luthor in his war suit, but he fought Supergirl. And we also saw Lex in his multiversal war suit in Superman and Lois. The Lex warsuit we saw in Superman and Lois, that was gray. It was missing the green and purple. We actually did see the green and purple in Supergirl. Can you believe it? Of all places, the Supergirl TV show did the Lex Luthor war suit and did it the best so far. Now, if only Lex in the show shaved off that stupid beard, it would have been perfect. Oh yeah, that's another thing. I am so glad Lex in this movie has no beard. I don't know why the past couple iterations of Lex has had a goddamn beard. Lex on Supergirl, on Superman and Lois, on Titans. All those Lex Luthors had a goddamn beard. I hated it. Lex is supposed to be clean shaven. The only hair on his head should be his eyebrows and eyelashes, nose hairs. There should be nothing on his entire head. So yeah, I hated Lex Luthor with the beard. So I am so happy. So happy. This Lex Luthor has no stinking beard. Do I like Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor? Yeah. This version of Lex is a D1 hater. I will say, because I know the actor, because I know this actor, it's a little hard for me to see him and think Lex Luthor. You know, it's really hard for me to see Lex Luthor with this guy. But, you know, it'll grow on me. The other times, I really felt Lex. I got Lex energy. This guy, I like Nicholas Hoult. But, like, you know, I kind of just don't get Lex vibes from him. Not yet. Something's missing. You want to know my hot take that I still believe to this day? Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor looked a lot like Lex Luthor. Now, I'm not saying he was an amazing portrayal. I'm just saying physically, visually, a bald Jesse Eisenberg looks a crap ton like Lex. Like, he, out of everyone besides Michael Rosenbaum, if I were to imagine, wait, no. You line up every portrayal of Lex Luthor, and you ask me which one looks the most like he just came out of the comic book. To me, Jesse Eisenberg looks a lot like Lex Luthor. That's all I'm saying. He looks a lot like Lex. His portrayal was not the best. When he was bald, just to be specific, when he's bald... But yeah, what did you guys think about this movie? I know I am super late to talking about this movie, but you gotta remember, when this movie was out, so was Fantastic Four. I wanted to watch this movie in theaters, but my cousin wanted to watch Fantastic Four instead. Another concern of mine with them doing a Superman sequel this early, you know, I'm concerned that it's going to be the Iron Man trilogy. As in, they did a trilogy too early. Iron Man got a trilogy so quickly, and then we never got another Iron Man movie since. They spaced out the Thor movies. They spaced out the Captain America movies. Like, we got one movie per phase. So each one of their trilogy films were spaced out in the phases. But no, phase 1 of Marvel had 2 Iron Man movies. Phase 2 had the third, and then we never got another Iron Man movie since. Sure, Tony Stark showed up all the time, but I'm talking a solo Iron Man movie. We got the trilogy out of the way so quickly, we never got another Iron Man film. So that's my concern with Superman. We're going to get a Superman trilogy so quickly that we're not going to get any other solo Superman films. I mean, that's not guaranteed. You know, we got 4 Thor films, despite the last one sucking. And hey, we're also getting 4 Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland. So you never know, but you know, I'm also concerned. I'm still concerned that we're gonna get a Superman trilogy way too fast. Like, are we gonna get 2 Superman movies before we get even 1 Batman movie? Kind of like how we got 2 Iron Man movies before we got a single Thor movie. I gotta say too, the world building in this film was pretty good. Before the film came out, it was just character announcement after character announcement. You know, we were all thinking, is this even a Superman movie? There's so many characters in this film. You know, we were getting casting announcements for Green Lantern, Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho, Ultraman, well, not really casting, but you know what I mean. We were getting character reveal after character reveal. It's like, where's Superman in this film? You know? There's so many other characters in his film. But it actually didn't feel bloated. It didn't feel overcrowded. Oh yeah, Metamorpho assisted during the country invasion scene, where Hawkgirl invited him to join the Justice Gang. That's a gag throughout the whole film. Nobody likes the name Justice Gang, except for Guy Gardner. So, Guy, he's a little hesitant on Metamorpho joining the team just because, well, look at his face. Look at him. Not really a marketable face. So when he hears the name Justice Gang, he's just like, that's a cool name. Guy immediately switches up and is like, you're in. That was pretty funny. Stupid ads. Oops. Can you tell I'm excited to play Mario Galaxy again? Also, can you tell I'm a huge nerd when it comes to this stuff? Or would I be considered a geek? Aren't nerds really smart with schools and actual academic stuff. But geeks are really into, this shit. Games, comics, shows. Isn't that more geek? Will I ever find a woman who will actually listen to me discuss a movie after I watch it? Probably not. And you know what? There was no woke shit in this movie. I mean, the only thing I guess you could say somewhat woke, not really, is the race change for Perry White. Cat Grant is also a little bit darker, but who cares? Nobody really cares about Cat Grant. In terms of Superman character, she's probably like D tier in terms of importance. Well, actually, maybe C tier. I would put someone like Steve Lombard on D tier. But, yeah. All of the castings were pretty much spot on. We also finally, after so many years, got a proper depiction of Jimmy Olsen. We haven't had a proper depiction of this character since frickin' Smallville. He was killed off in BVS, and he barely made an appearance until the very end in Superman and Lois. So yeah, finally, a Superman story with Jimmy Olsen in it. Can you believe that? I mean, there is an issue with this film as well. There was almost no interaction between Clark and his best friend Jimmy Olsen. They pretty much shared one scene together, and that's it. For damn near the rest of the movie, Clark did not interact with Jimmy. For God's sake, Jimmy Olsen interacted with Eve Tessmacher more than Clark in this movie. But, there's only so much you can do in like a 2.5 hour movie. Which is why I say certain characters benefit more on a TV pacing. But that's expensive as hell, so they're not doing it. Characters like Superman greatly benefit from a TV pacing. Look at Smallville. Look at Superman and Lois. We actually get to learn who Clark is as a character, see him interact with his characters, balance his life between Clark Kent and Superman. That's why I say characters like Spider-Man and Batman would greatly benefit from a television series pacing. However, these characters are too big. They're never going to, quote-unquote, waste their characters on a TV show when it could be a big-budget blockbuster. But can you imagine that? Like a high-quality Batman show? Where, let's go the CW route. You get the villain of the week, but the overarching storyline for the season is a big bad. Like, imagine one season of the Batman. He breaks down Riddler's riddles, and along the way he fights, like, small tier villains, like, I don't know, Mad Hatter? How can you do a whole season based on Mad Hatter? Another season, he goes after Killer Croc for the entire season, and then one episode he fights Penguin. And the big one, of course, an entire season he goes after the Joker. And a couple episodes he fights, let me think, who's a grounded character for Batman? Mr. Freeze is somewhat grounded. Bane, no. Clayface, no. Poison Ivy, no. Catwoman? Though Catwoman would obviously be more of a love interest. Or what about that for Spider-Man? Spider-Man, an entire season he goes after... he goes after Scorpion. And an episode here or there, he fights off a smaller villain, like, well, that's the thing. None of Spider-Man's villains are really small. No one in the Sinister Six is a one-off villain, you know what I mean? So, like... But can you imagine, if not a 22-episode season, then like a 10-episode season, where he goes after one of his big bads? That'd be pretty awesome, but they're never gonna do that. Alright, well, I'm gonna end this soon. I'm gonna rest my voice, blow my nose. Next time, we have a lot to discuss. And no shiny. I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully I feel better by then.